That's right. Welcome to the bottom of the rabbit hole. We are live right now. I'd like to thank everybody who is tuning in. We've got a quick live stream tonight. This is more of a request or a fan favorite, I guess I would say. Because for the past week or so, people have been hitting me up about this. And I briefly mentioned it in the last live, I believe, but I hadn't seen the whole thing, so I didn't want to go into it because I hadn't seen everything yet. It's only a minute long, if that. But the Space Jam 2 hype, and this actually dates back. Excuse me. This actually dates back to I want to say April. But we're gonna have Vesuvius on to talk about our reaction to this Space Jam 2 Matrix reference trailer. Shout out to everybody in the room. I see you, John. Hey, Matrix Spider-Man, Joker. We appreciate you guys being here. Vesuvius, are you in here?
I'm here.
Astro Ice is here. So all right, I gotta tweet this out and make sure you like the stream, guys. When you come on in the room, please like the stream. If you haven't already, if this is your first time here, subscribe. It's always a great way to support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything, but it really helps us out a lot. Right, so I'm gonna go ahead and tweet this out. Hey, Brandon Arnold, I see you out there. Kavion Davis, shout out to you guys for jumping in. I'm trying to think if anybody here asked me on the side about this Space Jam trailer, but let me tweet this out, let everybody know we're here. All right. So I just put that out in the Twitter matrix. Greetings. And I think, like I was saying in the pre-show, I think the trick here to not, get struck down by the big strike gods. I think if we don't play the sound, that we should be okay, and I'll let it rock. I don't know. Living on the edge here tonight.
We'll just kind of take a break. We can pause it and just kind of break it down. I have some observations I can talk about too.
All right, so see if I can get it up on the screen here. What's happening? All right, so that should be the side screen here. I'm gonna go ahead and start. Well, actually, first, right, let's go back to the first picture, right? Do this in order. So way back in April, in the first Space Jam trailer, I don't know if it was the first one, but there's a screenshot here that kind of blew up on the internet real quick. And, in the gray suit there, not highlighted is actor Don Cheadle, who plays War Machine in the Marvel series.
War Machine.
Yeah, but highlighted here we have some, they look like extras. I don't know, is that Hannibal Buress playing Morpheus over there? But it looks like you got a agent and a Morpheus actor there.
Yeah, it looks like he's supposed to be an agent, or Agent Smith.
So that went around for a while, but I hadn't seen the trailer, and apparently there's other Warner characters in this thing. If I can scroll, there you go. Yeah, Pennywise, Baby Jane, Game of Thrones, the Joker. So there's other Warner characters shown there in that clip of the film. So, but more recently, like I said, over the last week, this one came out. And yeah, that's the other thing. The movie comes out July 16th, I think.
Yeah, I think it's next weekend or the weekend after.
Right, it's less than 2 weeks. So this is the most recent trailer run. The build up. just gonna hit play here.
Yeah, that's next weekend. Next Friday is the 16th.
So we got some nice code intro there. I saw it was layered a little differently than it was in the past. And then, clearly you can see here, this is like mimicking the scene with Trinity from the original Matrix film, but we have Granny here in hacker form.
Yeah, so far, I can say it kind of looks like they took it from the original Matrix and just kind of superimposed Granny in there so far. So the cop looks very similar to how we did in the original movie.
Well, hold on, I can go back. You want to see if it's what do you think? Do you think this is the exact same group of cops from I had it. There you go. That's kind of blurry, but
I don't know if it's the same. It looks the same.
yeah, I wish I had the other one. We could try to do a side by side here, but let's keep going for now.
Somebody did do a side by side, but they didn't slow it down.
Okay, right. So then Speedy Gonzalez jumps in here. Now we're going, off the rails of what happened in the original. Right. So they get the little bullet time shot. Goes through his hat.
Mi sombrero.
He's jumping off of the bullets here. So that's some newness, some stuff we haven't seen before. Right. And then we have the classic bullet time Trinity kick. And you can see there's like this animated code, but with a comic book animated cartoony kind of POW explosion code with the hit there.
Yeah,
right.
so
And then he goes all the way through the wall like a cartoon, right?
And it looks like the cop because like he has his arm up because like Trinity like breaks his arm or something, or hits that nerve bundle under the tricep or something. So it's like I don't know if it's made to look like it and they did a really good job making it look like the original, or if they actually pulled from the original.
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, if they did do a copy, like reenactment, they did a really good job because it didn't jump out as looking off to me. Right, and that's what I was gonna say. In the original, though, I know he did, make like an imprint in the wall. But like I said here, of course, they've got the comic, or rather the cartoon style of him going through multiple walls. And now you've got I guess our protagonist jumping through the window in one LeBron James. And then there's Bugs too, which, you've got the rabbit. So he's wearing the Morpheus gear, Bugs, that is. And really, I think all LeBron says is like, hi Granny, hi Speedy. So they don't really tell us what's happening in this scene. We don't know specifically what the reference is or how they work the Matrix in, but clearly there's more than one reference. And also in I guess the last live stream or the last couple of live streams, there was a reference to this kind of like meta element to the Matrix 4 in theory, allegedly. So, it seems like Warner is playing to that even in Space Jam 2. But yeah, what are your thoughts on what you've seen so far?
Well, I think it is a glitch in the Matrix. It happens when they change something. It's a cool, fun little scene, and it's almost like I gotta compare to the Marvel movies, where they're teasing future movies in current movies. So Space Jam is going to be a big success. Okay, everybody loves LeBron, and he transcends basketball. He's a star, and they're pushing their next movie or their next big movie, which is going to be Resurrections. So I like the use of the Matrix and parodying it once again. But I'm not really feeling the Granny butt shot in the vinyl. Not feeling it. And if you are feeling it, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just I'm not there yet. I'm still a young man. So
Yeah, man. I mean, I guess for me, the silver lining or the good news is that, you know, I believe Warner is fully expecting to push the Matrix 4 heavy. You know, I feel like this is a part of that, which is, I think, good news for us, because I know that I've seen some fans, you know, concerned that, you know, the trailer's not out yet. Is Warner taking the cheap road advertising for it? And I don't think that's going to be the case. I think that they're just, you know, saving by not spending over a longer period of time. I think the push is going to come, you know, what, like 3 months before, maybe.
yeah, probably. And what it looks like is 1 month is going to be the big push. That's when the social media start really pushing. You know, I've been following the Warner Brothers social media accounts. So it's like when Kong, what was it, Kong versus Godzilla, like for
Right. Yeah.
like about a month, it was really pushed. So I think the Matrix specific account will hopefully give us some alternate reality marketing that we can kind of interact with. But I think as far as the Warner Brothers stuff, we'll get about a month from those accounts. But I like that it's kind of starting. You know, it's not a leak; it's something official from Warner Brothers, and it's not particularly for Part 4, but it's Matrix.
Yeah, man. You know, I'm looking at this thing from, I guess, a few different angles. Um, I want to get excited about, you know, Warner rolling out the Matrix 4 in December. But at the same time, like when we're talking about trailers and the amount of time that they put into promoting stuff, I think I saw the trailer for the Many Saints of Newark, which is going to be HBO Max release. I think I saw that trailer, what, maybe like 2 weeks ago. And you know, somebody in the comments can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they finished shooting that before the pandemic.
I did hear something like that, and yeah, that's the Sopranos prequel.
Right. With an I believe the actor in that is actually James Gandolfini's son, playing him there.
I think the focus is going to be on a different character, not the Tony Soprano character,
Okay.
but Gandolfini's son will play Tony Soprano, a young Tony
Yeah.
Soprano. Now, I wasn't way into Sopranos like other Italians, but I did watch the series only once though, so I'll kind of go into that movie, you know, kind of as a returning somebody returning to it, as opposed to someone who, you know, will put on the Sopranos just to pass the time.
Yeah, I was ground zero. I was in Jersey at the time that they were shooting that. Not the first season, maybe not the first 2 seasons, but definitely by season 3. So, you know, you could be somewhere and somebody call you like, "Yo, they're shooting The Sopranos outside of the pizza place, dude." You know, so there was that element to it. So I'm definitely biased as far as that goes. I'm looking forward to that film for sure. But just to the point of the Matrix trailer, that's what I'm saying. If they had the film shot before the pandemic, and we're just now seeing the trailer, and I believe it's being released in I think it just said fall. Like it didn't even have a specific date in their trailer anyway. I mean, maybe if we look it up, there's a specific date. But either way, it's July. Maybe it was the last week of June that I saw the trailer. You know, so again, you're looking at that 3, maybe 4 month window before they start really pushing these trailers on the Warner side. Right, because if we're talking about the Space Jam trailer, it's like we said, the release date I believe is July 16th, and that previous trailer with the agent and the Morpheus Don Cheadle shot, that famous shot, that was back in April. So, um, yeah, that's like 3 months on the nose.
Yeah, I think they're going to keep to that 3 month. Yeah, like I said, hopefully from the Matrix specific accounts, which is I believe is just at the Matrix movie, all one word, on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow them, but like the Twitter one, I think is still private, and my follow request is still pending. But hopefully
Yeah, I
we
was going
get
to
some
ask you
cool
because
stuff out of them.
you just said you were following all that stuff. I was going to ask you because I remember seeing something about that maybe a week or two ago. That what is it? The Instagram's no longer private.
The Instagram is no longer private, so you can follow them, but there's only one post, and it's just a black square. And I did take the black square and put it through a photo editor to see if there was anything like blended in, like some lighter tones or darker tones that would spell out a code or something. But no such luck. It's just a placeholder, I suppose. But the Twitter
Okay.
one, nothing yet.
Now, shout out to you for checking. Always digging deeper, trying to get to the bottom of things. John asks, has there been a fandom that has waited so long for content as we have? That's a good question. So we're gonna say,
Blade
I mean,
Runner, maybe.
I mean, it's a cult classic. I don't know how big their fandom is. That's fair if you just want to go from, the original to the sequel. What I was gonna say is, I guess too, you have to think of where do you stop because you said content. So, are we counting that last year of Matrix Online as content? Because that would put us to what, 2009?
Oh man, you know my bias, but even with my bias, I got to say no. It wasn't mainstream enough. It was very niche. So from 2003 to, I mean, we got to count this year because this is when the
It's not
movie
out yet, right?
releases. So yeah, what is it? 17 years now. How
Yeah,
long was it?
if you're gonna go off the last film and not like Path of Neo, then sure.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna go Path of Neo. I would go. Yeah, I would. I would include Enter the Matrix because it was, a
At
little
least
more.
canon, right?
Yeah, it was grounded in the movies, but it came out between the movies. So yeah, 2003. Now, how long was it between Return of the Jedi and everybody's favorite Phantom Menace?
Well, that's the thing. Phantom Menace was like, I want to say 99, right?
And Jedi was what, 83?
83. May 25th,
Wow.
1983.
All right. Well, I just scored some points because that was a guess.
No, great guess. Dead on. So that's
Is that 17? Is that
no, that's
17
gonna be
years?
about 16 years.
Well, what do our audience members say? What franchise had the biggest gap?
Because I was already like, I already know, like with like Star Trek, for example, the original shows, movies, those were like the 80s. You know what I mean? So even by the time they did like a whatever Next Generation film was, that was the 90s. So I doubt that there was more than a 15-year gap there. So Astro Ice says that, yeah, that's the same guy, same cop. So he's saying it's the same actor. And I'm trying to look through the comments to see if anybody answers here, but yeah, I think he might be on to something, as far as at least a Comic-Con type of franchise goes.
Well, they started making Marvel movies back in what? Okay, so there was actually a Doctor Strange movie, and I want to say it was something like 1978. And if you can think of a bad movie, it was probably worse than that. But I don't know if you're actually waiting for another movie. I mean, since then we've had we had the Superman movies, and then Batman was '89, and Batman kind of followed through, and then there were some lesser comic book movies. But like, then in the late '90s, we're talking like Blade,
X-Men. But that's the thing, you kind of
X-Men
you brought
2000.
up. But if you're saying Doctor Strange was 78, because Superman and Batman, those are all DC. So when did those, when did like X-Men and Spider-Man, when did the Marvel movies get started there in the 90s?
There was a Fantastic Four movie, I want to say '94. It never released. Never actually released. It did leak, and it's pretty terrible. I did watch it.
Did it go like straight to DVD or something? Like,
no, it did not get released. It's on a shelf somewhere. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. But if you really like Fantastic Four, you'll probably, especially back in the '90s, if that would have released, and somebody was a big Fantastic Four fan, I mean, you kind of take what you can get. Never released, but it's out there, if you know what I mean.
Right. And then anything I look up that will say, the Marvel movies in order, it's just going to do cinematic universe. So they're going to start with. Oh, this is even worse. This is doing it in chronological order. So it starts with Captain America because it's 1942. Right. And the earliest one on this list, I think, is like 2008. So yeah, it's not even counting the stuff from the 90s that we're talking about, that first wave of X-Men movies and all that. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to go about searching that, but it looks like the Matrix is at least a solid case at 17 years here. Okay. Gerard says Indiana Jones, but we know how that turned out.
Yeah, and now I think they're doing another one.
I heard, didn't Harrison Ford get hurt though? So something's going on with that.
He break his hip?
Something, man. I mean, he's up there.
Gotta get that calcium.
I'm looking up the Indiana Jones release dates now. Let's see what we've got here.
Hey, can I throw out a controversial statement about Indiana Jones?
Sure, and it does have the Matrix beat, but go ahead.
Last Crusade, head and shoulders above the other movies, including Raiders.
That's controversial?
I don't know.
I mean, I think that might be like one of those like generational things. Like, I wasn't old enough to see Raiders of the Lost Ark in the theater when it was new. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like, oh, in fact, I'm pretty sure I saw Temple of Doom first and then went back and saw Raiders. I think that's how that played out for me.
Same with me because I think it was on HBO when I was a kid.
That's what I'm saying. It was on all the time, and it had a kid in it, so that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
made it something relatable. And matter of fact, not only did it have a kid, it had the kid from the Goonies in it. So Data. I was really dialed in. Yeah, it was Data, baby. So, right, and that's all 80s, and that's the thing. Last Crusade is 1989, which makes the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull 2008. So that's a 19-year gap. So that has Matrix 4 from Revolution's beat.
Solid franchise. Solid franchise.
Astro says we shall not speak of Indiana Jones 4.
Not my canon, hashtag.
Yeah, no, we agree that Blade Runner definitely had a larger gap, but you really only have the first and second film, I guess, or at least I thought the question was more towards like franchises and in my own head, I even made it more like a franchises that have like a more of a role play or cosplay fandom.
Oh, there's people out there that'll dress up like indie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's what I meant like by that like Comic-Con space. Like somebody could definitely show up as indie and it not be a big deal.
So Space Jam 2, I want to go from Space Jam 2 to something else in the Matrix fandom. But Space Jam 2 has got some other pop culture references. So similar to, what's that movie? Ready Player One, which I've been meaning to rewatch. It's got like the Iron Giant. Space Jam 2 does, just like
Really?
Ready Player One. Yeah,
No,
it's
I'm
in
glad
there.
you brought that up because when we talked about doing this live, I wanted to bring up that the Ready Player One movie just because of how you have all these different intellectual properties or characters, what I mean, across different companies. Because right, you could dress. They had like a Batman character and Godzilla. Oh, no, excuse me, Donkey Kong references and all kinds of stuff. So we've kind of seen that in Ready Player One already. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay, Ready Player One. What was that? Warner. I'm about to look this up next.
Steven Spielberg. So I don't think so. I could be wrong. Wouldn't surprise me though, just because of the whole Zach Penn thing.
What's that Penn thing? Did he write Ready Player One?
He wrote Ready Player One, yeah.
Warner Brothers.
Okay, there you go.
Ready Player One, yeah. Warner Brothers.
Well, that explains
partner.
Batman because they own DC.
Yeah, I got to rewatch this. It looked pretty good. It was like up my alley because grew up in the 80s and 90s.
John asks, does the Morpheus car commercial or Smith Hospital commercial count as content? LOL.
Content?
I'm gonna say, yeah.
Well, let's differentiate here. What kind of content do we mean? Because it's Matrix related.
It's Matrix related, but either way, Indiana Jones has a beat. So on that tip, it's irrelevant.
Image.
But would I say that the Kia commercial and the Agent Smith commercial is more canon than like Path of Neo, for example? Maybe that could be debatable.
I got no comment.
So Astro Ice asks, is Ready Player One worth watching for an adult? I thought it was a kids movie. It's definitely Steven Spielberg. It's definitely a kids movie, but I thought, it's a good one to watch with your kids. I feel like it's like in that space where it's not boring for adults, if that makes sense. There's enough in between, but not totally inappropriate stuff either. It's very clean as far as that stuff goes. Although, spoiler alert, there is one scene, the the Shining references might not be fun for if you got little kids. But.
So I watched a Matrix fan film the other night.
Okay, do you remember what it was called?
Yeah, it was The Matrix Reborn.
Is that the one that's like an hour long?
Yeah.
Okay.
By King
In fairness, yeah, I haven't. In fairness, I haven't watched all of it. I will now that you said that you did, but I know exactly which one you're talking about. It looks high quality. I'm not knocking it. It's like the Cloud Atlas thing. Like anytime I think about it, I don't have an hour to sit and watch it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And then the other times that I'm just looking for something to do, I don't think about it. But now that you mentioned it, I'll make a point.
Yeah, so I could like watch that with my kids, and let them just kind of take in some, because they're starting to get the Matrix references now. So we watched Loki episode 5 earlier, and one of the Lokis is creating an illusion, and it's since
Wait,
he's
no spoilers on Loki.
no spoilers,
I'm
no
up
spoilers.
to 4, I believe, right? Because 5 was yesterday.
Yeah, 5 is today.
Today,
As
yeah, I haven't seen that
recording.
one yet. I haven't seen that one
So,
yet.
so no spoilers, but one of the Lokis is using his magic, and since his color is green, his illusion is green. And then when he drops his illusion, my son's like, "Oh, that's like the Matrix numbers. It's like falling." So I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, no, they do use the green effect for that. Speaking of no spoilers, though, I did want to say this, because those last live streams, I felt like we covered a lot of alleged and potential spoilers there. But yeah, it's been brought to my attention by a couple of people that Geekdom's re-upload has been taken down as well. So
Yeah,
I don't know if that means anything to you, but
I think over 24 hours later, it got taken down. And what it means to me is there's some legitimacy to it. I think we're of the similar mind that it'll get cleaned up a little bit more, and it won't be verbatim. Besides, the telephone game, there's a lot of differences between what we got from King Vader and Viewer Non and our other folks that had seen the screening. So I think we're going to be okay. Now, and here's the other thing about that. You and I, the folks that are watching this video and listening to us right now, we're diehard Matrix fans. Okay, we didn't get those nuggets from our screening viewers that were like, "Oh my God, it was a reference to this. It was a reference to that." We didn't get any of those things. We got broad strokes of the plot, and maybe an ending spoiler, but but we didn't get all those. So I mean, it's still going to be an enjoyable experience. There's still going to be lots of things that we can talk about and interpret and debate.
yeah, I wasn't. I embraced it. I wasn't worried about it too much. But Gerard makes a great point here. Space Jam was 96, so again, just like the Blade Runner thing, if you're just going from sequel 1 to sequel 2, yeah, those are definitely larger gaps than even Indiana Jones. And ironically, Indiana Jones, or rather Harrison Ford, is in Blade Runner. But yeah, Space Jam, that would put this at what, a 24-year gap, 25-year gap. So,
Holy crap!
right, it should have been 24, but because of the pandemic, it got delayed, right?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, 25 years. I saw Space Jam in the theaters. Oh, and I was a teenager.
Yeah, no, I've definitely seen like girls dressed up as the bunny in the basketball uniform for Halloween and stuff.
Yeah, shout out to the cosplayers. Making me feel weird looking at a bunny like that.
Yeah, I'm not asking too many questions here. Astro says I don't think the spoilers had anything that you couldn't guess based on the film pick leaks. I'm not worried. I mean, for all I know, we're just not on the same radar, I don't know. It's interesting, but so far so good, And that was definitely fun to just, talk about the different stuff and have like, Viewer Non and Soups and those guys jump into the live stream in real time, unplanned. I mean, that was probably the coolest part, the fact that just happened on the fly. But yeah, so far it doesn't look like the big wigs have a problem with our conversation. Like I said, it could just be that we're under the radar, that we're not big enough to get that level of attention, which is fine. I'm okay with that. Now, this might have been in the pre-show. Did you mention? Didn't you say the abilities tree poster is almost done? Is that ready or almost ready? Or
ability tree poster is in its final draft. I'm doing a test print. I just ordered from the vendor to print it and send it to me, so I should get that in about a week. And very shortly after, because I have high confidence in this draft, that it will be available for print and digital download soon.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm getting one. Yeah, I saw you tweet out the code sneakers. Your custom Matrix kicks are getting built right now, huh?
Yeah, they sent me an update that it is going into production, so I'm
Nice.
very excited for those. And if I can make it to project Matriculated in December, if our date holds, I will be rocking the Resurrection Code sneakers.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to you. If the date does get pushed back, I mean, we'll push the date back. We'll work around that if that happens. I've been kind of preparing for that kind of thing this entire time. I mean, the date's already moved 3-4 times. But yeah, no, I was thinking. I think I might have said it on Twitter, and then was like, maybe I should just shut up, because I was thinking about saying, you know, anybody who's rocking the Resurrection Code sneakers can just walk into Project Matriculated for free, you know. But then I was like, I don't know, this I could be opening up a whole rabbit hole that I'm not prepared for.
There'll be people just stopping off in Times Square and picking up the fake ones.
Right. The knockoffs.
That's when you know you made it.
Right. When people are printing up Matrix code stickers and slapping it on skater sneakers and yeah, I got the Resurrections, bro.
Well, didn't you say that on the tongue there's a you're keeping it secret, but there's something for fans?
I wouldn't say it's a secret, but yeah, there's definitely, you can see on the outside, there's a little window on the tongue.
Yeah.
Right above the laces. So that little window is the same code image that's the little window on the box.
Okay.
So you can see that in all the pictures.
Yeah.
But behind that is the more, the deeper dive. That's the one that I haven't really talked about, because I think it'll be a cool little surprise when you see it.
Well, I've said that I was going to do an unboxing, so should I put a black bar over it or something?
No. In fact, I'm excited. I've been waiting for your unboxing, to be honest with you, because you did the unboxing for the masks.
Yeah.
And you're much better. You're much more. You're well versed with the unboxings. I don't know what I'm doing with the unboxings. I tried. It didn't work.
It's been a while since I did an unboxing. When I got the first Ability Tree poster test print, I did an unboxing, but everything was so small. There's some parts that you couldn't read. So I don't know. I wound up not uploading that because I knew I'd come back and do a part 2, and I don't want 2 of them out there. So, but yeah, I'll do that unboxing. I'm excited. I like this stuff, man. It's fun.
David says, if Vesuvius was right about the trailer release date, we are 1 month away from it. So excited. I completely forgot that you dropped that midnight intel in the last live stream.
Yeah, shout out to Midnight. Now, here's the story with Midnight. She was a player from the Matrix Online. She was very, very popular. She actually did some really cool things to get players together. But at the time, she was working at Warner Brothers, and she actually tells the story during that podcast. She was on at the studio when the guy that played Tank, Marcus Chong, came on and was saying, "Let me in, or I'm gonna break Keanu Reeves' legs." So she was there, first-hand account. So she tells me, I've heard that we're gonna get the Matrix 4 trailer during Suicide Squad. So she's like, now that's what I've heard, and I'm gonna go back and check. And she hasn't heard anything different yet. So, I think it's pretty reliable. It makes sense. It kind of lines up. It passes a sniff test. So, shout out to Midnight.
Absolutely. I mean, it even ties into. That's why I'm glad that it came up today, because it ties into the theme of the thumbnail with the Space Jam thing. I mean, in the Space Jam trailer, you've got all these Matrix references. It would not surprise me if your information is correct, and in another Warner film, we see the trailer, or the first time is when we see the trailer for the Matrix 4 and Suicide Squad. So it all adds up. All the circumstantial evidence seems to fit. Oh, Astro says, I'd never seen cosplay before the Reloaded premiere. I was very confused. But yeah, no, I want to bring that back. I'm hoping that and I mean, I don't want to say I'm expecting, but it would not surprise me. That's probably a better way to word it. If after the Matrix 4, we see a surge in Matrix cosplay. In fact, I'm encouraging it greatly at the Project Matriculated premiere party event. It's encouraged, not required.
I've seen some pictures of, what was it, Brian J. Smith and Erendira Ibarra in that I guess kind of tactical gear. I think Brian J. Smith is in tactical gear, and we kind of speculated that he might be dressed.
Yeah,
up
he's got like
commando.
he's got like a camo or an army jacket looking thing going on. I don't know if it's camo. I think it's just the green.
Yeah, and Erendira is dressed in like a leather. I think it's like a catsuit, but her hair, she's got like a new Matrixy hair.
Yeah, her hair has, to me, strong Tarima vibes.
Tarima, yeah, Vale.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I was gonna say, like, she's kind of dressed like a cipher, and I think we were trying to zoom in to see like what was the necklace that Brian J. Smith was wearing, but it was a little too blurry.
But because I think it was dog tags. I think, not sure.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of fits in with that commando thing. So I don't know.
What I think Jamaskerd or something like that. It was one of those early Cyphites. He had a very yeah, that guy. He had a very like say kind of commando-y vibe to him.
David Munez wants to know what we're planning on wearing to Project Matriculated.
Well, like V said, I will probably have on the Resurrection Code sneakers. But after that, it's interesting because I got my my assassin mask came, and I was thinking I could wear that, but it's so nice. I don't want it to get messed up. Like, it really looks good. Like, I really don't want to mess it up.
Thank you. Yeah, I was happy with it. It came out good. Yeah, it's a thing you can wear it, but light use. I would say light use. If you're gonna do some drinking, maybe.
Yeah, I kind of plan on partying, so you'll turn around and blink, and then somebody else will be wearing it, and then it'll be halfway across the dance floor, and then who knows where it'll end up after that. So,
can you dress up like a swarm of flies?
I guess if you like, you could probably like get the little plastic ones and glue them to your outfit, maybe.
Yeah.
If you do the whole like trench coat thing, you know what I'm saying? That could work.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of Matrix T-shirts. I've got one that I found on eBay a few years back. It was Warner Brothers issued, and it had the monument from Mara Central, the Hypercube monument, on the back, and on the front left breast just said the Matrix Online. So that will probably stay in the drawer, but I really, really like that shirt. And I don't know, I might do the beta shirt.
I was thinking you might come with something beta, if not the shirt, then the hat. But
yeah, see, I got the hat, so I could always go with the hat and do a different shirt. Maybe even go, shirt tie. Like, I don't know, some silly imitation Matrix, imitation leather jacket or something.
So Gerard says the original Matrix trailer so good, built up a lot of mystery and hype without revealing anything. So what's funny here for me is, like, I didn't see the original Matrix trailer before I saw the movie. Like, I walked in there, I didn't know what was going on. But the reason why it's interesting to me is because I recently, YouTube algorithm, it ran into Quentin Tarantino talking about that whole. I guess he went to see it at the Chinese theater, out in LA, and he was kind of making that similar point that Gerard made, that the trailer sets you up in a way that's like, okay, I want to see what's going on here, but nobody knew what they were getting into. So he was just talking about the brilliance of that balance between the way the trailer was constructed, and he admitted that the other part of it is that it was done really well. I mean, it was a really good movie, so um that helps. But he said that there was just he recognized that brilliance before, as he sat down, as the movie was coming on, he realized how the trailer had impacted him and how it had him hype for what he was about to see before he even saw it. So I thought that was really cool coming from him. I'm still kind of angry with the whole Bruce Lee thing, but I do respect the films he's put together. So hearing his opinion of that experience was pretty cool.
Yeah, and being a high level filmmaker, you got to go into watching movies very critically and kind of looking for, I guess, things behind the scenes that will drive the story forward, but you can pick them out easier than, I'm a layman when it comes to the movies. I'm just all about the entertainment value, as where he's thinking more along, logistics and such things like that. So for him to give a very good compliment to the Matrix is instills confidence in me that, they can make another good movie, another good Matrix movie.
Well, and based on some of the stuff that we heard from the supposed test screening, or however you want to word that, um, I heard some things that make me feel I don't want to say confident, but feel, I guess, good about what you just said, that we can still have a good sequel, that it's number 4, but that doesn't mean it's going to be the worst just because it's the 4th. And specifically, I was listening, someone was talking about just that whole, I guess, sequel dynamic and what was wrong with sequels, and why they're usually not as good as the original. And he's like, well, let's look at sequels that are as good or arguably better, or whatever. And he said, usually what you see is that they didn't just do the same thing over again, that they either brought you a new story or showed you something completely different than the first one. He mentioned Alien, Ridley Scott versus Aliens, James Cameron, and that kind of thing, where the original is more this deep space horror movie, and then the sequel is more this fighting alien action movie. They're just very different approaches to the franchise. And that's so. Yeah, when you bring it to some of the things we've heard about Matrix 4, I think that there are nods to things that we as fans liked from the original, but I'm hoping that in the story, I mean, we've already heard Keanu say that there's a love story, and that was part of the original. But I do think, or hope, or feel like we've heard enough to feel like they're going to be introducing new story, and that's what I'm curious. I feel like, even with all that we have heard, if all that's true and it plays out that way, there's still so much new story that we don't know yet.
And sequels these days are very good. Again, I got to look at the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're all basically sequels. So like you have, say, Ant-Man, that which is a sequel to a Marvel movie that came before it, but it introduces like these B and C level characters, and they still entertain you. And then Ant-Man has another sequel, Ant-Man and the Wasp, which was, not only a follow up to the first Ant-Man, but also all the stories that come before it, and they all add a little something. So it's almost like the code has been cracked. when you say like sequels don't just do the same thing, there was a joke in I think 22 Jump Street where like Ice Cube plays the captain, and he's like, it's the same case, guys. Just do the same thing, and you'll get the same result. Just do the same thing, and it's kind of, I guess, meta. I just learned this word like 2 weeks ago. It's meta, where it's self-aware, and it makes fun of itself, and it was actually funny. It's kind of poking fun at itself, being a sequel, doing the same things, and changing it a little bit at the end.
Yeah, now Astro Ice here says sequels that are great are totally different, like Empire Strikes Back, different tone. And that's funny that you say that, because Empire Strikes Back was one of those examples that was brought up. To your point that it just had a different tone. It was if you think about it, towards the end there, I mean, it's it's a cliffhanger. The first one, you feel like the good guys win, and Empire Strikes Back, I mean, you're like, well, man, he just lost his hand, like that's not cool. I mean, he survived, but and in a way, right, he said, but once you get after that, you've got this like continual recycling of the Death Star. So that did happen. So there are parts of the franchise that were recycled, but you get the idea or the theme of what we're talking about. David here asks, do you guys like the idea that has what is that? He said, do you guys like the idea that has been leaked about Ricci being some kind of WB's boss? The fact that M4 will emulate the real world. Again, everything's alleged. I believe viewer none corrected me that Christina Ricci is playing Thomas Anderson's boss of some sort. Where he works specifically, I don't remember what they said. Yeah, it's escaping me if he's a computer engineer or researcher or video game developer or something. It's something like that. I don't think she's a movie boss, but I could be wrong. I'm like I said, I'm not really remembering exactly what their titles were.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I heard that he was back working at Metacortex, or if he's working for Warner Brothers. So I don't know. It's a little gray area. They could just do that for the test screen and just swap out the audio. While they're showing Keanu and the boss is talking to him, they can swap out the lines. Like, oh, we'll record both. You work for one of the top software companies in the world, or and just change that dialogue off camera. There's so many things they can do in a screening compared to the final product. But
yeah, they're saying video game company in the chat, which is also, if you go back to the what was that, the audition leak audio video here on this channel way back. I think that's like 2019. Yeah, that's what they were saying, that he worked for a game company in there. So
yeah, I think that's the only video of yours that I haven't watched. I never watched any of those leaks because I was like, this is all BS. So I just completely dismissed all of it.
Well, what's funny is when I first saw it, just because of the quality, I was very dismissive of it. I just put it out there because like it didn't look like anybody else. I think one other source was really talking about it when I first saw it. That was the thing. I found it so soon. And then like while I was making the video, I went back to like get, either like download a different clip or maybe take a screenshot or something. And it was all taken down. And just kind of like, that's how people feel with the whole geekdom thing, right? Like, oh, Warner took it down. It must be on to something. So that's how I kind of felt. I'm like, okay, I'm going back and I'm seeing like, I'm getting these auditions from a real casting agency in California. So that part's real. And now none of these auditions are found. Like they're all gone. Like all of them. I was like, all right, that might mean something. Again, I don't think that those lines are necessarily going to be in the film, but there might, as you can see, if the video game developer theme holds true, then it's probably legit.
I hope Christina Ricci gets a good amount of screen time.
I mean, the way they snuck her and Thelma Hopkins announcements way after the fact in that updated press release, I got to imagine that they're not in it a whole lot. but it looks like she's got some lines for sure. You know, the big question is going to be how much outside of the Matrix time are we going to have to balance in, because you know, when I first saw the shot of Keanu Reeves with the bald head and you know the Nemesine hovercraft plate, and it's like, all right, well maybe this is going to be another reawakening. So I'm thinking, you know, all that'll happen at the end of the film. But it sounds like that happens fairly early,
Well,
based on what we've heard.
the big contrast between the real world scenes in like part one and the sequels was that in part one it was like shocking to see things that went on the hovercraft. There was, you know, obviously the extraction was, you know, like it was eerie to see, you know, to see like these people sleeping in the pods and everything, and you know Neo getting rescued by the Neb, and then they're working on him. Okay, here's a sidebar, and I don't want to get off on a tangent, but when Dozer is working on Neo and doing the acupuncture and fixing his jacks and everything,
Okay.
I think he'd be able to find a wireless signal coming to and from. Okay, so I'm throwing all that wireless crap right out. Okay, there's an explanation for his real world powers, and I've said it a million times, so I'm not going to get into it now. But what happens when somebody a red pill passes away? You think they're not going to do autopsies and check out that equipment? They're going to find these wireless things. It would have been built into the story already. It's not.
David here says, I think it would be a big and risky change if they introduce our real world to the plot of the movie.
I have to say it. I'm getting ready for all of these Matrix within a Matrix theories coming up. They're gonna come. They're gonna come strong.
Well, yeah, you already know. I mean, they've got the Space Jam is in the Matrix theory going, right?
Oh gosh, you know, I'm just gonna stay out of them because it's like bothersome to me now. With like the video game and the Matrix being meta, and it's like, oh yeah, there's this film trilogy like Keanu in Thomas Anderson's world inside the Matrix. Like, oh yeah, there's these films called the Matrix. It's like that's not another Matrix within a Matrix, even if it is meta, even if they have something called the Matrix and video games based on it. It's still not a Matrix within a Matrix theory. So.
Well, I'm gonna just wait and see what happens in the Matrix 4. Now, based on everything that we've heard over these last few weeks in the realm of the spoiler leaks, I didn't hear or read anything that said that there was anything Matrix in the Matrix about Matrix 4.
Get ready, they're coming.
Now that doesn't right. No, I don't disagree with you. That's not going to stop the internet from doing what the internet does. That's just I just chalk that up as part of the game and keep it pushing.
I'm gonna be out there with a lightning gun, just shooting down all these Matrix within Matrix theories.
Well, oh right. So somewhere between, I think it might have been after the last live stream. If it wasn't the last one, it was the second one. It was definitely after the first test screen live stream. I think it was the second, the reloaded test stream live stream when Viewer Anon and Soups jumped in there. Yeah, I got this letter or email from YouTube, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, click this and activate the super chat." So the super chat has been activated on this channel. I didn't know that you had to go do that apparently, but YouTube let me know. So I believe that everything I was supposed to do was done. I can't really see what it looks like on you guys' end, but
What
like I
is
said,
super chat?
So basically, like when we're doing a live, like that's the thing. It would have been perfect for the lives where viewer none was with us, because we got to those points where the comments were coming in so fast that I couldn't really keep up with them. I know a bunch of them got lost in the sauce there. So when you do a super chat, it's like a donation or whatever, but that comment of the super chat is highlighted. So, like, you know what I mean? Instead of searching for it, I can just see who did super chat, and I could have read all the super chats for sure.
Okay, so I'm clicking on a $ underneath the live chat, and it says, show support for Neomatrixology. Super sticker. Send an animated image. Super chat. Send highlighted message.
Yep, that's the highlighted message. Yep.
Yeah, let me try the sticker. Let's see what this does.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure. I would guess that I've seen one before, but I don't know how the super stickers work at all. I've only ever seen super chats in live stream that I can think of.
Okay, so there's like I don't know, it's like a blue pear or something, but the pear is like a character with like a face, and I can pay $3 and he'll hold up a sign that says bump, and then $5 will get me this blue. It's like a pear, like not an apple, like a pear.
Now those are supposed to be animated, you said?
I don't know if they're animated. Yeah, they're animated. For $50, he can ride a rocket.
Yeah, I have to go in there and see if there's any way I can load or request some Matrix themed stickers.
Seems a little limited here. Oh wait, okay. No. There's other categories. Okay, so there's like an 8-bit 1-up. Similar prices, and they just go up from there. I don't know. This one's like a purple hippo, but that makes a little more sense than a blue pear.
So as you can see, that's why in the past I've only ever seen people use the super chat and not the super stickers. But like I said, when it's a live stream where there's a lot of people talking and you want to make sure that your comment gets seen or read, that's the way to go. Because I mean, I got it that day. I was like, wow, I get why. If you're in a live stream, like, oh, why won't this dude read my comment? Like, yo, he can't see it, man, when they're going like that.
So there's a salt shaker. So I'll use this in the future when people start talking Matrix within a Matrix. I get salty at that.
Get that salty. Well, I know you said you've got a hard out at 11 tonight. So, and man, we've already hit the hour mark. As always, time flies when you're having fun. Is there any conversations, podcasts, or projects that you wanted to plug before we end this session?
Got a couple of beta hats and beta t-shirts up for sale. And also check out, now there's a big UFC event this Saturday. This kid, Conor McGregor, is going to be trying to get a win back from Dustin Poirier. That's in the 155-pound division. So in honor of the UFC, check out my video. And the title of that is Matrix Style Highlights in Real Life. So it's like actual fighters doing Matrixy moves, but for real. Like this is during actual fights, championship fights and even non-championship fights. There's really talented fighters out there, and they do some incredible things. And I try and put that. So I'll show you a clip of them doing it in the Matrix, and then somebody doing it in real life. So, but we're within another Matrix anyway. So who knows?
How you found some of those real life clips was incredible. I'm like, I don't know how you archived that stuff, man.
It was all up in the brain. It's like just one of those things I've just been thinking about for so long. I'm like, I got to do this video, and now I'm just waiting for the sequel to write itself.
Yeah, no, it looks really good. It was a great video. What else was going on? Oh right, yeah, I did want to say for any of my fellow Matrix apes out there, because you mentioned the UFC thing, And we were talking in the pre-show that AMC is going to start showing UFC fights in the theaters. I don't know how the streaming ticket part of that's going to work, but that's upcoming for them. So yeah, any of my Matrix apes out there, hold strong. There's a lot of market manipulation going on, but that's just the game. They're trying to scare everybody, and like I said, save movies, hold tight. We're gonna go to the moon. On that note, please do like the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. And class dismissed.